All right, guys, it's about time everything went to plan with my squad. Here we are to update on the Thursday night game and also our two Friday night games. I couldn't wait with this one; had to do it late at night here after those two games, and just wanted to get excited about the squad there with Toyo with 55, which is solid. Lucy with 65 had a really strong game, and Dane Laurie and also Adam Dewey there with 65 and 56. So really strong from those guys. Obviously up against the Dragon side that's a bit decimated at the moment, but you got to take the good and the bad there each and every week. So, Walshy picked him up for 69. Looks like he might be out for a bunch of weeks with that elbow. He got a bit annoyed with the elbows from the opposing attacking player there and threw down an elbow very similar to that of Felice Kafusi a bunch of earlier in the year or last year, can't remember exactly, but so 69 from him was good, but 38 from Rogers completely fine, and then 90 from Nico there with Alvaro as my possible emergency if I happen to lose anyone. So happy with that from the team perspective. Just thought I'd update you on where we're at there. Obviously 567 in overall rank, but I think I've used a couple more players than some of the top guys there. So that's the update on the squad. Let's go into our games there. And obviously our big standout of our first game was Nico Heinz again after a massive game last time, and he ends up sitting in around 12% ownership. So an increase of 7% there, which makes complete sense. Being someone that's going to be a really good option coming into the next few weeks. Over this first buy and is going to make a lot of cash. So another close to 100k you'd imagine that he's going to be gaining from that game, and a couple of try assists, kicking the goals, just everything. So very similar to that of what Pap does or what Cleary's doing. These types of Dvojevic, for example, all these guys are absolutely dominating. So well done to Nico there, and also Brandon Smith had a really, really strong game. A couple of line breaks. Two tries and a nice try to Nico through the middle there, darting out a dummy half and a nice little face ball through to Nico up there. So really strong from Brando, and only playing 51 minutes is shows how dominant he was in his time on the park. And obviously it's not something he's able to do every week, and you're not playing the Broncos every week, even though they won the week before. But this is kind of the damaging stuff that he can do, and he looks a lot more comfortable last night. I don't know what you guys thought of him in that role there, and I just thought he did a really, really really good job in that one there, and of course we have Mr. Turpin there who comes in and just plays 80 minutes. A couple of weeks of Danny Levi experiment, and of course that didn't, that ruined us all, and I decided to hold him for a week, and he still got he got his lowest score of the year, and then he basically plays 80 minutes after that, and then averages close to 50. Perfect. So that's that there. Jerome Hughes of 57. If you picked him up last week and had him as a red dot, that sucked, but you get 57 out of him this week, which is a little bit under what he's priced at, but these are very normal scores and very good scores for someone that only gets one line break and the rest is in base stats. So a couple of turnover tackles, 4 tackle breaks, 2 offloads. If you're getting that with 130 meters gain as your half, you're always going to score pretty well. So well done to anyone who owns Jerome Hughes there. Ado Carr was 54, so welcome back to him after a very average week last week. For anyone that's still holding him, I can't actually believe he's 618k. That just obviously shows how many tries he's been scoring. Georgie Jennings as well with a nice price tag of 487, picks up a 50 as well, so well done to him. Pangai's the one we should probably talk about. No massive attacking stats in terms of tries or try assists this week, but 8 offloads was crazy to go along with his 3 tackle breaks. So, and 100 meters gained is, I suppose, what we're kind of used to seeing out of him. And a 49 is not what we want. Obviously, he's under 700k now, which puts him pretty close to that score that he's getting tonight, around that 49, 50, 53, like up to like 52. But yeah, you'd expect and want more. Obviously, against the Storm team when they're getting beat up pretty hard, for him to have 25 points in those offloads and tackle breaks is good signs going forward. The question is going to be, is he going to get a chance to be on the Origin bench? There's also the news that Payne Haas has done his MCL or some portion of it, whether it's a full tear or what, but it could be somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks there, which means he'll be definitely be missing Origin. So the amount of forwards that are going down in the blue side, he might get that spot, unfortunately. A few people talking about Dale Finucane, and at 449k, he has to be averaging 45 to 50 for it to be a really worthwhile trade in, because he's not going to be a keeper. So that was the thing to worry about. The really good thing there was he got 68 minutes, but just the work that he was getting through in that time isn't amazing, and he's not someone that's going to be getting attacking stats. So we talk about Christian Welch in terms of when they absolutely dominate, he has to get those offloads and stuff to get really good points just because the tackles isn't there. So that's going to be similar with Dale in this squad here and in that 13 role. So just keep that in mind when you're selecting these types of guys. And you obviously see with Chewy as well, as a bunch of people picked him up 3 to 4 weeks ago, and he had a couple of decent scores, but he hasn't really made much money since then, just because he's at that price point where you need him to be averaging 45, 50 to do really well in your squad. So that's that there. Remus Smith with 37 still keeps doing a decent job. He won't be making any more money, but he's a really nice placeholder in your squad up until 13, 14, 15, maybe even all the way to 17 before you might want to move him on, unless he keeps scoring as he is, and then he might just end up being a keeper. So 38 as an average, that includes him starting really poorly. So just remember that, guys. He's been pretty consistent the last sort of 6 or so weeks there. Albert Kelly as the cash out option, played solid. Had 3 errors at the start, which were couple of one or two handling ones, and then just dropping a pass kind of thing. So kind of scored pretty well. Other than that, which is fine, and you really just hope that he keeps his spot. So maybe depends what happens when Gamble comes back. Does Milford lose his spot again? He probably does, to be fair, because Kelly's I think pretty solid for his first 2 games back in the NRL. Payne Haas goes down injured. Obviously plays in less minutes. Didn't really get to do too much in terms of attacking stats. So that was frustrating for anyone who's picked up Payne, and you're probably going to have to look to get rid of him. And a lot of us guys will probably be looking to pick him up in 18 or 19 if you don't have him. So it's a bit of an annoying one, but let's find out exactly what the injury is. If it's a couple of weeks or not. If it is, then you miss his Origin week anyway, and you might be back in 14 or 15. So that's on the lucky side. Otherwise, it could be like a month. So that would be annoying. You miss him for a month, he probably comes back and plays Origin. So it's probably 5 weeks over that next sort of 7 or 8, which is annoying there. Moving to Flegs, and this is kind of exactly what I thought he'd be doing. Somewhere in the mid-30s. He just has too many years in a row where he hasn't scored well enough, and some people are like, oh yeah, but he's going to get big minutes, which means he'll do well. But there's negatives, You've got lots of missed tackles, you've got errors, you've got penalties. All those things come into play when you play extra minutes. And if you just look at his stats in the last few years, and that shows that. So another lesson to be learnt with these types of middle guys that are 400k, 450k, whatever they are, is that they do have to average over 40. And if we're not exactly sure if they're going to do it or not, then it's probably not the best decision there. Arthur's got a nice try. Farnworth, I think he played solid, actually, in actual footy terms, but when you're getting smashed as a centre to get 25, you're kind of probably pretty happy with. Palaszczuk with 25, so he made 32 tackles and 9 misses. So similar thing there. Obviously, 9 misses for him, 5 for Flegs. This is the kind of thing that can happen if you're not an established player. It's just, you can get those missed tackles or struggle a little bit. And we'll talk about Olam in a sec. But I don't think Palaszczuk was going to be a great option when you've got Jordan Ricky to come back. You've got Alex Glenn coming back very, very soon. Albert Kelly would have been a slightly better option at that cheaper price there. So that's that. Olam. So Olam's really only done it this year, and that's kind of been the worry. If you early in the year, I was telling people to maybe just to hold off a little bit because he's fairly attacking stat heavy, and I understand that they're a team that's doing really well, but for him, it's a question of, can he do it regularly? Can he do it for a whole year? We weren't exactly sure because he hasn't been a keeper in the past, and unfortunately for our people squad, we've got burnt now. We've got a 2 and a 22 over the 2 weeks back with no attacking stats. So very painful for anyone who picked him up, and I've been spouting about getting Jack Bird, and he had another nice score tonight to add to his resume of really good scores. So that's that there. Just keep that in mind when you're looking to make trades going forward. Osako with 18, he's definitely ready to be moved on. Get him for 13 and move on from there. And that's all for that game, guys. Just remember, please. I really appreciate the support. If you, I think I'm sitting at about half of my viewers are actually not subscribed. So if you aren't at this stage, I really appreciate if you could hit that red subscribe button and like this video as well, so we can get this out to a bunch more viewers. But let's move into the Cowboys and the Warriors game. And we spoke about Walshy. Another really amazing game, to be fair, with a try assist and a try saver in there as well. 230 meters, 6 kick defusals, 3 offloads, 4 tackle breaks. He's just really electric. Runs so fast. Although he did get run down by by the Cowboys forward there. I can't remember his name, but we'll get there. Got run down by him in the end, but yeah, another great game. And I said I picked him up this week, and I feel like I had to. Otherwise, I would have missed out on another good score and also big price rise. So yes, has a bye next week. Might be out for a few weeks as well, so that'll be interesting to see what happens. But if he continues to play in the one position, it looks like he's going to be pretty close to it. 50-point keeper, you'd imagine. So if you can have that at a very cheap price, then play on for sure. Wade Egan with another solid game with 64 points with 58 tackles. So good stuff for him. Not too fantasy relevant these days, but yeah. Tohu Harris with 55 and his lowest score of the year. So bloody hell, Tohu, what are you doing? Was scoring really, really well at the start of the year. Start of the week was sort of like 21 points through 24, making a lot of tackles, and just didn't have the attacking stats or any try assists or tries this week, which is fair enough. You can't do it every week, right? All right. Clifford had a pretty solid game as well as Val Holmes, and that's a couple of field goals in the last 4 weeks, I believe, to help the Cowboys win. So we're proud of the boys. Another big one. It actually got us the nice same game multi in this one. I picked up. I had Cowboys with the 12 start. I had Walsh to score and also had Drinkwater to score. So thanks to those guys for helping a brother out this week after a lean one last week. So there you go. Hamiso with a nice try there to help the boys come back and tie the game, which was great. So it's nice to see him back on the park and running fast again. Robson had a pretty solid game and a bunch of nice runs at a dummy half, but again, not fantasy relevant. Drinkwater, awesome work to get a try there. 200 kick meters, 86 run meters, just another solid game. He's been playing a lot better this year. I'm actually really enjoying watching him play, which is good. Ewan Aiken with a couple of tries and 47. You'd probably hope for a little bit more from him, but only 9 tackles and 2 tackle breaks. So again, someone that could be a slightly decent option through these middle rounds, but let's wait and see on that one. Cody Nichole was 45. If you own him, you continue to hold. I think he's only going to miss the one game over the next period. He's been averaging 53. So and his price isn't too high that a random lower game in the 40s is going to hurt him. So that's that with him. I'm really happy with how he's gone. I think he's actually just played good footy, to be fair. Murdoch Wasilla is just continuing to show that he's too hard to stop close to the line, but he's not an option at the moment. Lukey, that's right. So 50 minutes for him, which is really interesting. So he comes on and plays the rest of the game. So for that there, he becomes a very intriguing option that could score pretty decent. If he's going to get big minutes at that cheap price, he has a bye next week, and then if he can keep that spot, I think he could be an interesting little cash out option heading into sort of around 14 or 15. So keep that in mind for you guys looking at your teams going forward. Roger there, we've got a nice try assist, 200 meters, only 3 tackle breaks there. So we take the 38 and run after his good score last week. Of course, I played him this week. And he picks up 38 and 59 the week before when I don't play him. But that's footy, that's fantasy. As you guys hopefully listen to the Trader's Tale, you would know what it's exactly like for sure. I said, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. There was a bit of a laugh on my end, just sitting there going, what am I going to put together? And decided to do that. And here we go, Jazz Tavanga, 16 in his 53 minutes. So again, the guys that haven't been keepers in general and over the long period of time, then that can happen to those guys. All right, and then we'll slide over to the Tigers and the Dragons game, which we just finished there. And for that one, really, Tigers played okay. They played decent, but Dragons are a little bit of a mess at the moment with their players. And you can see Ben Hunt had a pretty solid game in terms of his scoring, but also on the footy park, he was fairly solid, as well as Norman there. Controlled the game enough without, I guess, just putting together points. And then just Jack Bird in defence has just been amazing. Like I said, he wouldn't look out of place in Origin, but I don't think they'd pick him. You could have him as like a utility as well as an option, but when you've got Latrell and Trebojevic, Latrell and Trebojevic, I think you've got to pick them in the centres at this stage. Hunt should get into the Origin team, especially if Harry Grant's not much of a chance of playing. You'd imagine Reed is the number 9 and Hunt would be the utility. He's played that many a time. So if anyone who picked him up, I saw a few people in my Discord picked him up. For him, that's probably the main worry, is that you're going to miss him for a few weeks there. So great score. Going to continue to do that every few weeks. and then pick up a 40 odd and average somewhere in the mid 50s like he is, which is good. Norman, not too fantasy relevant at the moment, I don't think. I don't think it's worth bringing him in at all. At that weird price, he's not a keeper. Lucy Leilua, good to see him back with a really good score. So got to try a saver and a couple of turnover tackles, which is great. 160 meters, 33 tackles. Had a few plays there where he pretty much broke the line. Could have got a bunch of tackle breaks and also line breaks, but ended up with a couple of offloads and a line break assist. So you can't complain with that. Really happy with his 65, and same with Dane Laurie there. So a couple of try savers. Got a try assist, just a bit of everything for Dane this week, which was great. Bumps his average back up and is if you're playing him, I know a lot of people actually would have traded him out the last few weeks. So if you're playing him now, you've really caught up on some of those guys that have moved him on, unless they moved him on for a Trbojevic or something like that, which is also fair enough. But yeah, Dane's going to be great for us in round 13. You'd hope, especially if who are they playing? We'll find out. But whoever they're playing, if they're just decimated by injury, you'd expect a lot of these Tigers guys to do pretty well, as they won't really be missing any guys to Origin. Jackson Ford, a few people were asking me about him this week. I just don't think that this is going to last, especially they got Jack DeBellin, who's a chance to come back eventually. I don't know if it'll be this year or next year. Maguire's going to come back in 3-4 weeks, so Ford will be moved out of that position. He might not even be playing, so keep that in mind. Adam Dewey, 5 goals, 2 try assists, 10 tackles, 3 tackle breaks, 100 meters gain. So could have been a lot better. They just kind of did a bit of everything with only 6 in the negatives, which is completely good there. So that's that with him. I'm just actually looking at McCulloch. I don't think they credited him the 40-20. Is that right? Let's add it up actually. What have we got? 8, 9, 12, 59, neg 4, 55. Yeah, they haven't credited him with the 40-20, which should be, right? Forced drop out. Where do they credit it? 40-20? Anyway, work that out. But yeah, you'd hope they credit that overnight. Yeah, that's that. Garner, 55. Yeah, we'll talk about him anyway. McCulloch, 55. We're happy enough with that score, right? He's just going to be pretty solid if he's playing 80 minutes, and you expect him to at least play that through the next period until Maguire comes back. That's probably the only worry is if Maguire comes back, will he take a few of those minutes again? Will he spell McCulloch? That's going to be the question. Garner, Sims, Nofaluma. Nofaluma is scoring a lot better these days, which is good. Got his average back up to 42, but again, he's a little bit of a worry going forward. Is he going to be able to be a keeper? When we have so many really good wing fullbacks, is it worth bringing in someone like this? Or is it, a lot of us have got Nico, Walsh, and then you're sitting with guys like Trbojevic, Pat, blah, blah, blah. You got 5-6 guys that could do a good job for you. So is it worth bringing those guys in? Alex 12, 48 minutes to get 51. So you take the 51, but geez, just give him some more minutes, man. It's incredible if he gets close to 60 minutes. So you'll take that there. If you've held on to Little this whole time, he's got another 50 for you, which is good. Gerard Beale, how good's that? 47 in his 80 minutes, so welcome back to him. He shouldn't be in the team for too long, but 16 tackles, 5 busts, 160 meters, well done. Burnsy was absolutely flying. I think he was about 44 at half time and then ends up staying on 44. So a few people were asking me, should they pick him up? And again, in this position here with Burns, Ford, they've got a bunch of guys out. So when the cattle returns, these guys will be reverting to the bench or to the centers or wherever, or like completely out of the team. So keep that in mind. I know a few people mentioned Stay Fast back in the day, and he ended up with a try tonight, which is a good little catch there. And he's made over 100k, and he's going to keep going up. So I suppose he hasn't been the worst cash cow at all, for sure. Birdie there with 43 in his 80 minutes. I said his tackling was amazing. Just, one-on-one tackles that were stopping Dewey. Like, so many times if he was up against a worse centre in defence, then Dewey would have had so many more tackle breaks. But yeah, Bird's defence there was strong. Only got to run 80 meters, and he got 2 tackle breaks. He might have been credited 1 less than he should have. I think he got 2 in 1 run, unless there was another one later on. I'm not sure. But good to see Roberts in there getting a couple of tries and then actually looking okay on the wing. I think you'd probably keep him there. I think he's fast enough and strong enough that he's probably a smart one to leave on the wing there. All right, Brooksy with 41 is okay. 6 missed tackles hurts him. No attacking stats, so you probably want him in this type of game to be getting a bunch of attacking stats, and he did not. So keep holding him. Probably a trade out after 13. He still is averaging 52 though, so keep that in mind. People are like, oh, he's been shit, but he hasn't. He's been pretty good. Offa was 41, Laurie 40, Alvaro 39. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets some updates overnight, and if he does, then it might be worth taking his 40 or 42 or something like that, if that's where he ends up. Tommy Talau is our cash out option, is done okay. A try assist and a try, so a couple of good touches there. Probably a bit too expensive to touch now. Moses Mbai with 38, and getting a bunch of tackles through the middle as well, which was good for him. But overall, another solid score, and we'll make a little bit more cash for you if you decide to pick him up a few weeks ago. So well done with him if you did so. Ramsey, a person people were talking about, I just don't feel like it was ever a really good option. Never really been a good fantasy option. Yes, he scores a little bit better at fullback because he gets to run the ball a bit more, but I don't know, he's just an okay player, to be fair. In a Dragons team that's not going that great. Yeah. Sean Bloor, 17 in his 28 minutes, so has anyone actually noticed him on the park? I haven't. He's just there getting some minutes playing, so he's not. I don't think he's the superstar that people are talking about at this stage. We obviously have so many amazing rookies at the moment, so it's hard to notice these guys that come on and just play a small role off the bench when you're noticing they got the rookie for the Broncos for the Cowboys, for example, that's actually coming on and making a real impact. I don't think Sean's made an impact yet. So and Amone there, the young fella, picked up a nice try for him, so well done to him. And then you got both Amone guys. One for Tigers, one for the Dragons there. But yeah, really, guys, that's the 3 games for our Thursday and Friday night. Sorry about the non-upload today. Was really busy with work and etc. But there you go, guys. That's the 3. Hope you're enjoying these. Please like and subscribe if you are, and we will catch you in the next one where we'll go through all those Saturday games. So good luck with your team, and we'll catch you then. Bye, guys.